This is Misa Grand Duchess Rasmus. This is Misa Grand Duchess Rasmus Koenig, also known as Ryan Tomlinson, logging on here in the morning on Saturday, the 14th of September at 9:10 a.m. I hope you guys did your observances to what you were observing on September 11. For some, it was very tragic. For others, it was a day they would not like to remember. And others went about the day. Very hot day, but respect to whatever losses people may have suffered, and may you live to get over it and to come to terms with it. Speaking on that effort, we're in a different time in our lives in America. Our expectations are lowered. Some of the things we had hoped that we would see and achieve in the last probably 4 to 6 years has been a tragic disappointment to us. Nostalgia of probably race, color, or climate still exist, and rightly so, for what it is for historic reasons, and so forth. Historic reasons don't pay the bills, and it doesn't keep us safe. It doesn't make us better in society. Anyway, in that essence, I suffered a terrible torture, abuse, chemically, verbally, and sexually in the military in Korea by same military members, unprovoked and unsolicited. While I am not traumatized by it, I have made the necessary adjustment to come to terms with my life and to live my life. I made a commitment to myself and to the military, joining as a 37-year-old upper middle class black man wanting to serve. I am going to make sure that what happened to me never happened to another black person in this country or any black person, young black person that want to serve in this military. Upon receiving my exit upon the military, I will light a firestorm of a firestorm of it's not ideology, it's points, a firestorm of points to eliminate some of them sitting at the hierarchy at the military. We must change them out. We must change the government. We must change the current climate. No longer can we tolerate war because we want war or because we want to deviously change peaceable lives to our style and standard of living. The world adapts on change, and when people are tired, they change. If every 100 years they're invaders in a country, how can that society adapt itself to change? It lives in constant misery of turmoil and turbulence, and such is what I see with Syria. The unethical support of the terrorists by the current administration and the use of the chemical weapon given by Turkey and Saudi Arabia has caused tragedy in the lives of civilians in Syria. They were supporting this war against Assad. They couldn't do anything, rightly so, because they supported the terrorists and they knew that's where it came from. What uh, what is the solution? The idiots couldn't even get a diplomatic solution on the board. Vladimir Putin, so rightly so, and so upstandingly stepped forward, not the United Nations and its puppetry. Nobody thinks ahead of safety of ordinary civilians, just what they can achieve. Get this leader out and we are okay. It's time for us to change that. And whether I change it here or in another country, I will make sure you know the facts that you can bring your democracy back to where it should be, and not a bunch of louse sitting down, moronic louse sitting down, hanging around, and plain right, blatantly supporting war and death and hunger. The next time after this change, people, when we decide to go to war, let it be a credible threat, because now there is no credibility to where we stand. In their efforts to pursue diplomatic solution should be a great effort, a great contingency. As I said, it was such a shame when they stood up there on that day in the civil rights Martin Luther King, and they couldn't perpetuate his dream of civility, peace, and nonviolence to another nation without it. They never tried. It is such a disgrace and dishonor. It shows a lack of thinking, a lack of ability of historic knowledge, of culture, and a lack of consciousness and compassion. This time, when we go America, we go to the polls, make sure there is none of them standing there. Let them run for election. Not Hillary Clinton, not this one, not that one, not all of them. Watch them well, and who votes for war and who does what. And when it comes election time, one by one, get them out. Let's go back to down to earth people that will strive for something, and not these aloof, isolated figures that can't identify with social injustice, with social suffering. They look so menial in their policy and demeaning in their outlook. And I, as a person that suffered, that did nothing wrong, that suffered innocently, drugged by people I knew in the military. I didn't know them. I worked with them. If I could suffer in the military like that, and to be blackened, to be ostracized, to be criminalized, and further abused verbally by healthcare workers and whatever else, guess what? It can happen anywhere in the world, and I was fighting for them. So let's get these murderers out of office, because obviously we have a pattern of behavior here. Murder, murder, and murder. It's time for us to go back to the referendum of peace, unity, and freedom within our lives, within our family, within our co-workers in our institution, and within the world. We desperately need it. Lots of people, unfortunately, suffer at the hands of the military. Living here in this country and serving the military, it's no wonder they're overseas doing whatever else they want to do. So obviously, there's an innate, ingrown problem. Let's address it. Anyway, it's a good Saturday morning. I just took a walk, good sunshine. Enjoy your day and bring peace to your lives. That's a value. Peace and family. Something they may have taken away from my life. But guess what? I am at peace with myself and my God. And family, well, the good Bible said, your mother and father will show themselves, because the arms of flesh to that which we are born will fail you, and you will not be able to trust them. And they trusted my enemies. So therefore, they are now excluded from my life. Rightly so. This is me, the Grand Duchess. Have a good Saturday. God bless you all. May Allah bless you all, and Buddha bring peace to your life. Get them out.